Hey everybody, I am Amanda. Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to shoot a very exciting video for you. I am going to show you my setup for 2019 in my Hobonichi Cousin. This is an A5 sized Hobonichi and I ordered the Avec. So this is just January to June and I am super excited to start planning in this in the new year, and I just wanted to kind of show you what I have set up so far. So the first thing you'll see, this is a sticker from a Boho Berry box I received actually I received it in November, but it was the January box. I will post the link to that video for you in the description if you're curious about that. And then the other thing I wanted to show you right off the bat is that I have a clear cover on this. This is not a Hobonichi cover on cover like I've seen. This is just a Midori MD notebook cover. It was just a couple of dollars. It's nothing very fancy, but it will protect my Hobonichi well, I think. And also it has this little pen flap here, this little pen loop. So I plan on putting this in my traveler's notebook like I did with my 2018 one. And this year I plan on stringing it through the cover, in between the cover and the notebook, instead of actually putting it in the middle of the notebook and then ruining the spine. So I'm excited about that. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. So cover page, I just put a little hand lettering and I closed it too soon, so I have a little bit of ink. You'd think I'd know by now with all my fountain pen use and everything on this paper. It takes longer to dry because it doesn't absorb the ink like a lot of paper does, and that's one of the reasons why it doesn't bleed through and it's such great paper, is because it dries on top. But then you do have to, compensate for that whenever you are writing. And then this first spread here, I have just used some little sample stickers from Planner Kate. These are the transparent squares, and I just went through and I marked the birthdays and the anniversaries that fall in those months. And so I kind of color coordinated. So all of the blue up here, these are the birthdays for that month. Birthdays, and then we get into anniversaries in May. So the red and pink here are anniversaries. The red and pink throughout are anniversaries, and then the other ones are birthdays. So I thought that would be fun. I didn't really do anything to this page. This is more just at a glance if I'm wanting to look back to the previous year or forward to the next year, just to see, when Christmas is or something like that, what day of the week. Then we have our future planning. Now I use this for our school calendar. I am a teacher, so I only have this 6 months filled out because I don't know our schedule yet for the 2019-2020 school year. And then I just have birthdays at the bottom. And then I will also post a link to this video. This is my December spread using only my Beauty by Starlet stencil. So I had a lot of fun with that. And then I haven't done anything else for the rest of the months or weeks. So I'm just gonna flip here to, I think that's the first one, yes. So after June, it goes right into this turning a new year 2-page spread. There's only just little calendars at the bottom and then that up here, and the rest of it is just blank grid. So I'm gonna put my 2019 goals. I haven't quite figured out what they are yet, but when I do, I will fill them in. And then we have the kind of hello month page. So I intend on using this for the index for my collection. So what I've decided to do, I've had a lot of questions. I am going to use January and February for collections. And then March, I'm gonna start in on my dailies. And I will explain that more when we get there. But for now, these are the collections that I have so far. A lot of them will be familiar if you've seen any of my walkthrough or my favorite collections videos. So I'm gonna kind of go quickly here. A lot of them I have duplicated and some of them I have consolidated. So I had a full page for each of these, and I realized that in 6 months I don't really need a whole page. I have 2 or maybe even 3 columns here, and that's plenty for the 6 months. So since I'm switching them and putting them in every one of my Hobonichis, it will just save some pages there. yearly and monthly bills, and then YouTube video ideas. I plan on using both of these pages for that. Then I just have some more swatch pages and some fonts, and I also intend on filling these 2 pages up with fonts. I wanted to try and think about how I would use them, so I wanted to make sure that all of my fonts were together, so when I'm looking for a font, I'll know exactly where to turn. And then I have some kind of Christmassy themed collection. So I have Who Hosted, and this is more than just Christmas, I guess this is like all the holidays. We have a really hard time remembering who hosted what. And so I was like, you know what, I just need to make a collection of it. I was talking to my sisters-in-law, and it's like, we can't remember who hosts things from year to year, and so I'm just gonna make a collection and it will be there and I can refer back to it. Same with Christmas gifts. I couldn't remember what we got our nieces and nephews 2 years ago, and I didn't want to get them the same things. You know how that goes. Also with Christmas cards, ones that we sent and then ones that we received. I want to have a list of those so that I remember who to add to the list for next year. So then I have the rest of January, not very many pages, and then I will also use February for collections in the same way. And then we get into March. So I will start the daily pages here in March. So January 1, I'm going to come on this March 1 page. And I will keep some collections in the months here. So ones that pertain to that specific month. So my expense tracker, my editorial calendar, and anything else that comes up that kind of relates to that month, I will keep with the daily pages, if that makes sense. I think that my brain, it will work easier that way if I have them all, you know, collected in one month. These are more of the collections that I will flip back to, and they don't really have a specific time, I guess, if that makes sense. So those are the ones that I'm collecting together at the front of the daily pages, and then the ones that are more time specific will be with the daily pages. So I don't have anything yet, but I thought it would be really fun to go ahead and set up this first daily page with you. So if you watched my November flip through, then you saw that I have been using these distress inks to add a little bit of color in my daily pages, and I have been loving that. It just adds a little bit of color, and I can be creative, and I don't know, I've really been enjoying that. So I thought it would be fun to go ahead and do that on camera with you for January. I'm not sure exactly how many days this will be, probably at least 2, maybe 3. That's another reason why I really like using these colors. I can use for multiple days. I can get a lot of use out of this. So we're just gonna do this first page here. I think I might do, let's see, wintry theme, not Christmas anymore. I think I might just do the blue and the green. I might use some of the yellow, but we're gonna start with just these. So I keep my foam little blending tools just on the inside here. These are just the small distress ink pads, just the 1-inch cubes. So they fit perfectly in there, no Velcro or anything needed. And I do have 2 of the blending tools, so I'm gonna put one on each of these. And I just got these at Michael's, and it was in a pack. It came with 2 of these and then 4 of these, which is perfect because I have 4 inks. Okay, so I need to make sure that I remember which one is which. I'm gonna start with the blue, I think. Now there's no really right or wrong with these. I usually just dab it on and then kind of pick a corner to start. You also can just do this if you want and then blend it out. I find that it gives the harsh lines though, so that's not usually my preferred method of applying, but you can kind of blend it out a little bit. So I'm going to add some more to try and get those lines to blend. Okay, I think I'm ready to add some green. So So I'm just gonna flip over to this and make sure you change your blender tool. Now this green, I don't know if it got dried out or what, but it does not quite show up. It takes a lot. And actually this one, I do usually do this because there's just not as much. I don't know if it's just the color is lighter or if it somehow got dried out in the package. So you can probably hardly even see that on camera. So blend that out more, kind of push it down on into the blue, make a pretty blue-green. Let me get some more. I'm gonna actually, here we go. Mix it in there. Yeah, that's really pretty. All right, so then I wanna go ahead and add some more blue at the top. Now this really, you have so many possibilities. I've done rainbow ones. I have done mixing 2 colors, 3 colors. It's really just whatever you prefer. You could just do it one whole color and just make some spots have a little more ink and other spots have less. It's really up to you, whatever you want to do. And I have learned to just ignore, if this would really bother you that it says March 1, you could white it out. I have learned to just ignore this and this. I used to white out the numbers and I just don't even see them anymore. I'm just so used to it. But if that would bother you, that is an option for you to do before you wanted to ink it up. I am going to add some yellow because this green isn't very deep. It's not adding a ton of color. So I'm going to switch out this green tool for my yellow one. Now my yellow is the opposite of my green. My green is more dried out, but my yellow is very vibrant. So I have to be careful how much I use. If I just barely touch it, plenty goes on. I'm liking that. So obviously, you know, mixing colors. If you mix yellow and blue, you get green. So just adding just a little bit of yellow here and there. I'm not really wanting to add a whole bunch. Okay, great. So then whenever you are happy with that, one of the really cool things about this ink is that it reacts to water. So what I'm gonna do is just sprinkle some water on top, and then I will show you what it looks like after it dries. Remember that the Tomoe River paper, like I said before, it takes a while for things to dry on the surface, and the water is no exception. The water takes a long time to dry. So make sure that you're patient, leave it open, binder clipped for, I mean, I'm talking like up to an hour. So make sure that whenever you do this, if you want to add water, that you are mindful of that. Maybe do it at night before you go to bed and you can leave it open or something like that. So I'm just gonna take some water, just dip my fingers in it, and I kind of like the big water drops, some little ones too. I just kind of try and put it all over. Okay, that's probably enough. So I will let that dry and then I will come back and let you know what it looks like. All right, so it has been drying for almost 2 hours. There is still one spot that isn't quite dry completely, but you can see the ring around the spots that has dried, the cool effect that it does. So I hope that you will maybe consider getting something like this to just kind of spruce up your daily planning pages, or even your weekly or your monthly. You can really use them wherever you like. I hope you enjoyed this kind of walkthrough of how I intend on using my 2019 Hobonichi for bullet journaling. Maybe you were able to get some ideas for how you can use your planner in the upcoming year. I would be curious to know how you intend on using your planner in 2019, so please let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this and don't want to miss any more of my content, please consider subscribing. Until next time!